Two divers were slowly ascending along a guideline, preparing to end their dive. But on the way back, one of them suddenly stopped. Then, without any warning, he turned around and swam deeper into the cave. His partner froze for a moment, then quickly followed, trying to grab him. However, just a few seconds later, he completely disappeared into the darkness of the cave. The partner had no choice but to stop the pursuit and rapidly return to the surface to call for help. Even more terrifyingly, when the rescue team later re-entered the cave, almost the exact same scene happened again. Another experienced diver suddenly began acting abnormally, then lost control and plunged vertically into the depths of the cave, never to return. And this is the incident we're talking about today, the Emerald Spring diving tragedy in the United States. Emerald Spring is located in Orlando, Florida, in the United States. The surface here is a typical wetland environment, but underground lies a complex system of subterranean rivers. Lakes, sinkholes, and underground streams are scattered throughout the city, and Emerald Spring is just one of them. From the surface, it doesn't look particularly remarkable. The water has a diameter of about 45 meters, surrounded by ordinary residential neighborhoods, making it seem more like a quiet pond. But beneath the surface lies a completely different world. The underwater structure of Emerald Spring forms a typical hourglass-shaped cave system, a narrow entrance that opens into a much larger space as you go deeper. The known depth exceeds 152 meters, but how deep it truly goes remains unknown to this day. In the 1960s, a diving club chose this place as a training site. The club's founder, Hal Alvord, held a highly respected position in the American diving community. He was not only one of the co-founders of the International Association of Professional Divers and the National Speleological Society Cave Diving Section, but also one of the few pioneers at the time daring enough to explore extremely deep caves. On August 13, 1970, Hal brought several students to Emerald Spring. This time, it wasn't for training. 2 days earlier, someone had accidentally lost an expensive buoyancy compensator inside the cave, and they planned to retrieve it. Diving with Hal was a 16-year-old named Fred Schmidt. Despite his young age, he was exceptionally talented and was already one of the few divers in the Orlando area to have exceeded the 100-meter depth mark. It's important to note that at that time, they were not using modern mixed gases, but standard air tanks. This meant that the deeper they went, the risks increased dramatically. At around 11 a.m. that day, the two entered the water and followed a guideline down to a depth of 46 meters to search, but found nothing. They then decided to end the dive and began ascending. It was during the ascent that something went wrong. Fred suddenly noticed that his dive flashlight had come loose and was slowly sinking deeper. He immediately turned around and went after it. Hal instantly recognized the danger and followed him down, trying to stop him. He knew very well that continuing to descend at that depth would drastically increase both air consumption and decompression time. However, Fred was descending extremely fast. Hal chased him down to a depth of 91 meters but still couldn't catch up. He could only watch helplessly as Fred was completely swallowed by the darkness. By then, Hal's own air supply was nearing its limit, and the guideline had already run out. Going any deeper would have cost him his life. In the end, Hal was forced to give up and began ascending to the surface. Because he had gone too deep and ascended too quickly, Hal suddenly lost consciousness on the way up. But a few seconds later, he regained awareness and immediately realized that he was suffering from severe decompression sickness. Struggling, he made it back to the surface and called for help.